You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tiina, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go! Do you need an eye cream? Or is it a simple marketing trick? It is one of the rare situations when I will say, no, it is not a marketing. It is a real necessity. Eye care, it is an essential part of the skincare routine. Why? Because the eye area defines a big part of the face appearance for everyone. It's like people say that eyes, they are kind of mirror of the soul and all this poetry. But it is true. Eye area defines our appearance because eyes are very important in the non-verbal communication. It is a well-known fact that our communication is based on the verbal communication, on our wording and language, only in the small part, that's a rule, which says that about 70% of our communication is non-verbal. Non-verbal communication is based on different parts of our communication ability. It will be the body language, it will be gesture, but also it will be facial mimics, the face expressions, and about 20% of this facial expression will be defined by the eye area. And also, our eyes are very emotional. So when you speak with someone, you're always looking into the eyes, with rare exceptions. And when you look into the eyes, you evaluate the eye area in the same time. And actually, the visual definition of the age, it's much more complicated than you can imagine. Because people think sometimes that age is defined by an amount of wrinkles or the depth of wrinkles. And that's because Botox works so great commercially. Because people think, if I will eliminate these wrinkles on my forehead or somewhere else, I will look much younger. But actually, wrinkles, they share somewhere 9th or 10th position of the important points of the age definition. Eye area visual appearance is much more important. Your skin can be flawless, but if you have under eye bags, it adds to your appearance probably 5 or 7 years. If you have some dark circles under the eyes, people see that you are tired, that probably you didn't sleep well, and subconsciously they evaluate your face as an older face of the tired, less energetic person. And wrinkles in the eye area, they are more important than wrinkles on the forehead or wrinkles on the cheek. So there are a lot of reasons to care about the eye area. And people understand it. That's why eye care in the skincare and in the makeup is so popular. I've seen statistics somewhere that mascara is selling, I think, in the 2nd place, immediately after lipstick. So people buy a lot of makeup for the eye area, and people are constantly experimenting with the skincare for an eye area. And here we come to the question, do you need to buy something specific to this area, or you can just be a little bit more generous with your face cream and apply your face cream all around the eyes? And here I come with all my boring anatomy and physiology truth. Science found at least 8 differences between facial skin and the skin in the eye area. And all these 8 differences are very important for the skincare efficiency and for the skincare safety as well. So if you're looking for something which helps your eye area to age a little bit slower, to look better, and to avoid early appearance of age-related changes in this area, yes, you need a specific eye care formulations. What are these 8 key differences? First difference, many of you, my dear listeners, probably know about. It is the thickness of the skin in the eye area. It's kind of well-known fact that the eye area skin is thinner. But actually, it was properly measured. And it was found that eye area skin is 4 times thinner than facial skin. Sometimes it can be even 5 times thinner. So the difference is really dramatic. The difference is huge. The thickness of the skin on the face, the thickest skin on the face, it is on the forehead, and the second place, the cheeks. And in this area, the skin can be as thick as 3 and 3.5 millimeters. But in the eye area, the thickness of the skin is 0.3 milliliters on the upper eyelid, and it can be 0.4 or 0.5 in the corner of the eyes. So you see, it's huge. Why it is so much thinner? And here we come to other differences of the skin. The anatomy of the skin in this area is different. We have less of structural elements in the skin. We have less of collagen, which is the main support protein of the skin and conjunctive tissue. In the eye area, we have about 3 times less of collagen. And this collagen, it's not so strong as the main collagen of the skin and the face. Why it happens? It is protective mechanisms because the anatomy of this area is very different. If you touch your face, you will see them here under the eyes and under the eyebrow. You feel the bones. It's called the orbit. It's literally the hole in the skull. And your eye globes are located in this bone structure. And to be able to accommodate eye globes in this bone structure, and to get all the protective anatomic structure, for example, of the fat tissue around your eye globes, we need the skin which is able to stretch better and which is able to be softer and better for the eye protection, because we cannot deny that eyes are very important for our health and orientation in this world. It's more important than amount of wrinkles in any area of our face or our body. So the skin is thinner, the skin is not strong, it's not so tightened, it's not so elastic, and it is more fragile, because collagen and elastin are not only supportive proteins, they are protective proteins as well. But on another side, we have enough of hyaluronic acid in this area. And also the dermis itself, the deep part of our skin, is thinner because dermis is the part which holds all the structure. Collagen fibers just building these 3-dimensional helixes in the skin. Elastin fibers, when you have 3 times less of collagen, it means then the dermis will be about 3 times thinner. So the fat tissue, which is located under the dermis, in the hypodermis area, it's nearest to the skin surface. And we have a lot of fat in this area, because the fat protects eye globes, and also fats bring a lot of capillaries to the eye area, and it is also the protective function. What this combination means for aesthetic appearance of this area? It means puffiness. Because when you have a lot of capillary you have a lot of these weak points when it's overloaded. With excess of the water, the capillary start to leak, and this leaked water absorbed by the very hygroscopic fat tissue and by the hygroscopic hyaluronic acid in the dermis tissue. And so we have puffiness of eyelids, and we go for formation of under-eye bags. Also, it can be a different kind of anatomy. Sometimes it's just congenital appearance of under-eye bags. Sometimes it's a hernia, so it's anatomical problem, which leads to the formation of this stable chronic puffiness in this area. And all it happens because the skin in this area, not only the skin, but the skin, the underskin tissues, and the bone structure in this area, it's very different from the bone structure and soft tissue and skin of the face. But it is even more. In the eye area, they don't have sebum glands. We have a lot of sebum glands in the middle of the face. We have a lot of sebum glands in the T-zone, on the chin. We have less of sebum glands on the cheeks. And we don't have, or almost don't have sebum glands in the skin of the neck and in the skin around the eyes. What does it mean? It means no sebum, no lipids. No lipids, hello the skin dryness. And yes, the skin of the eyelids is dry. It has this tendency for the dryness even if you have an oily skin on the face. Very often you can see the cases when you see someone suffering from an acne, suffering from an oily skin, but in the eye area you still see thin dry skin with an early formation of wrinkles because it functions differently. And this lack of sebum is very important for the skin health in this area because without this precious lipid mantle support, the skin is dry. It loses water holding ability much earlier than the skin of the face. And also it's prone to the irritation. It's much more sensitive. It's more fragile than the skin of the face. You can have sensitive skin in the eye area and resistant skin on the face area. So you can imagine if you try to use your facial cream for the eye area, you can get to the irritation, to contact dermatitis or skin redness and itchiness very often. It's just how it works because of this anatomical and physiological skin difference. And capillaries in this area are much more sensitive. This area have more of capillaries and they are more fragile. And also it is proven by the scientific evidence. The structure of the capillary wall can be less tight, and capillaries in this area contains less collagen because in whole this area fibroblasts produces less collagen, and capillaries they are not an exception. And I will say even more. As you can imagine, when the skin is dry, thin, and has a lot of blood capillaries, it leads to much higher skin permeability. So everything that you apply on the eye area will be absorbed much more efficiently than everything you applied on the forehead or on the chin area or on the cheek. Is it good? No, unfortunately it is not. Very often we start from the point more is better. Higher concentration in the skincare product, higher amount of ingredients, and higher penetration into the skin. That's how skincare works better. And sometimes yes, but sometimes not. Especially when you try to apply product which was not designed for this area of the skin. Imagine you have your favorite facial cream. Maybe it contains some stimulating ingredients. Maybe it contains some brightening ingredients. And this cream was designed to address pigment cells in the facial skin and fibroblasts, which should be located deeper than 100 microns from the skin surface. But in the eye area, fibroblasts 30 microns from the skin surface. So they meet not only ingredients designed to address fibroblasts, it means oil, preservatives, emulsifiers, and whatever you get in your facial cream formulations. That's why eye products are formulated differently. And another very important point, it is skin pH. Yes, pH of the skin in the eye area is different too. Probably that's famous number for the healthy skin pH, 5.5, right? It was all around us in the advertisement for years and for decades. And surprise, it is not true. Probably we should make an episode about the skin pH and the role of the skin pH and the maintenance of the skin health. But long story short, it is not 5.5. It is some kind of funny and kind of silly mistakes because the pH of the skin was measured in the underarm area, and after it was just a hypothesis, then skin pH should be the same in every area of the body. But actually it's very different in different parts of the body, and it is different in different parts of the face. In the facial skin, the healthy pH nowadays is between 4.85 until probably 5.0, 5.1. And actually, it's not so easy to measure skin pH properly because they are different in the skin with different pH. But in the eye area, the pH is much more alkaline. In the skin of the eye area, the healthy pH, it's near to 7 because it's near to the tears pH, and tears are alkaline. It is an alkaline liquid. So, in this area, all products designed for the skin with pH 5.0 are not appropriate because pH is so different. And to finish all this and to summarize, you can probably guess that if you have different permeability of the skin, different thickness of the skin, different dryness of the skin, different amount of lipids on the skin, different proteins in the skin, and different pH, that microbiome should be different as well, because the microbiome is defined by this, what we call metabolome, all these biochemical substances covering the skin and existing on the skin surface. So microbiome of the eye area is very unique. It is a prevalence of different bacteria. We don't have Cutibacterium acnes in this area because we don't have a sebum glands. So most of the products designed for the facial care, they can be harmful for the eye area skin microbiome. So as you can see, it is very important to use specific product for the eye area. And if you don't have any of specific eye care products, it's better do not use anything for this area than to use facial cream, because facial cream can harm the skin in the eye area in so many ways. And based on my personal experience as a professional, as a skin consultant with an experience of more than 30 years, I've seen so many cases of under eye bags created by this use of the facial creams, of dark circles, of damaged capillaries, and of the skin irritation and dryness and early onset of wrinkles, just because people use different products, use their favorite face cream without understanding the eye area needs a specific care. So, how we should care about this fragile, delicate, but so important area of the skin? First of all eye care products are designed with a specific pH. I suppose you guessed it already. So pH of the eye care is always more alkaline. It should be near to 7.0, Very rare, it's even more alkaline than 7, but it can be probably 7.2, but it should never be 5 or 5.5. Also, as the skin is much more permeable in this area, for the eye care formulations, cosmetic chemists, they work not on the ability of the skincare to penetrate deeper. They work mostly on the ability of the skincare to penetrate exactly in the targeted area. And it defines the different purpose of the skincare. What kind of problem we have in the eye area? First of all, we have aesthetic problems related to microcirculation issues. When your arterial microcapillaries are damaged, when you have some issues with venous microcapillaries, we see it immediately in the eye area skin appearance. When you have these venous skin capillary issues, what we call atonic types of the microcirculation issues, when venous microcapillary are overloaded with liquids and they start to leak in the intercapillary, intercellular area, simply speaking, to the fat tissue and to the soft tissue of the face. You see the formation of the puffiness and under eye bag. Another side of this problem, located in the same layer of the skin, it can be spastic changes of the arterial microcapillaries. So venous capillary can be perfectly eliminating excess of the liquid, but when arterial microcapillaries, they are not bringing enough of oxygen, they are not bringing enough of nutritional substrate, you see the formation of dark circles under the eyes. And in some cases, you can have both. You can have under eye bags and the styroid look with dark circles or brownish dark circles. Also, you can have these dark circles related to the pigmentations, and they look different. So yes, it is complicated. We have two types of dark circles in the eye area. First type of dark circles, it's microcirculation circles, and it looks bluish, and very often it comes with different types of skin changes. It can be by the under eye bags, it can be accompanied by the skin dryness, but another type of the dark circles, dark circles related to the hyperactivity of pigment cells, of melanocytes. And we don't have enough of fibroblast activity in this area, but we have a lot of activity of pigment cells. Thank you very much indeed. Especially in the Mediterranean skin types and Middle Eastern skin types, when melanocytes in this area, they are large and they are very active. Melanocytes activity can be triggered by the ultraviolet exposure, but also by the stress, by fatigue, by a lack of sleep, and most importantly, by the inflammation. So this type of pigmented dark circles, which looks a little bit brownish, are accompanied by different skin changes. Most of the time, you will see irritated skin in this area. It can be itchy, it can be sensitive and sensitized. And also, if bluish dark circles are more related to the very thin skin, dark circles and pigmented dark circles can be related to the hyperkeratosis in this area. So skin texture can be quite rough. And all these problems, they are located in the dermis layer. So when we address capillaries, when we address pigment cells, we need the formula which will penetrate into the dermis, but will not go much deeper, and most importantly, will not stay in the epidermis, because in the epidermis, we don't have capillary plexus or networks, and we don't have pigment cells, they are dermis cells. So we need the product which can penetrate quite deep but which can stop in the targeted area. And in the same time, as we speak about the capillary and puffiness, it is a real problem, we cannot use heavy and rich structure. So no creams, no emulsions, with an exception for very thin, probably lamellar emulsions. And the best choice, it is the gel-based formula and water-based formula, which can be enriched with the bioidentical, skin-identical lipids to help repair the skin barrier, but still, it should be as lightweight as you can imagine. So, the products efficiently fighting under eye bags, puffiness in this area, dark circles of all types, they are mostly water-based, lightweight serums and gels. But we have another problems. We have wrinkles formation, we have skin dryness, we have skin irritations in this area. And with this type of problem, we need different types of product. We need the product which will stay on the skin surface, at least most of this formulation, will replace these deficient lipids, will replace non-existent sebum glands in this area, and it can be enriched by the stimulating ingredients. Because when you have wrinkles, you need to address fibroblasts. Fibroblasts, they are dermis cells, but they can be addressed by different kind of boosters and stimulators of fibroblasts activity. In the same time, these boosters and stimulators should be smart and should be very delicate. So when I see the eye care based on the active form of retinol, I know that yes, it can help to tighten the skin. It can help to diminish wrinkles appearance, but in the same time, it is a very high risk that this retinol-based eye care will make your skin drier, will make your skin red, irritated, flaking, and very uncomfortable. Fortunately, now we are not obliged to use retinol only. Retinol is a revolutionary ingredient which was discovered as a skincare treasure and was called skincare gold standard in 80s. Now we are living in 2025. 50 years later, the whole world around us changed. When I started my career as a skincare formulator at the end of 90s, there have been about 600 ingredients officially registered for cosmetic use. This summer, when I checked how many ingredients we have now in the nomenclature, there have been 30,070 ingredients. So you can imagine the difference is enormous. And retinol is one of 30,000 ingredients available for the skincare. When you start to count on stimulating ingredients for the fibroblasts, you have hundreds of them. And among them, that's a category of ingredients which is specifically good for the eye area. They call peptides. Why so? Because peptides are very small molecules which can be very active in small amounts. In the same time, they act selectively, so they can address exactly the need of fibroblast. It should be most important for the eye area. We want to stimulate the synthesis of the first and third type of collagen in this area, but also we need the stimulation of the fourth and seventh types, because in the eye area, the structure called dermal epidermal junction, this small layer connecting the superficial layer of the skin called epidermis and the deeper layer of the skin called dermis, it's very weak. It's weaker in the facial skin. Even in the neck skin, dermal epidermal junction is thicker and stronger than in the eye area. And the key proteins of this dermal epidermal junction connection, they are collagen of 4th and 7th type. So we need ingredients which are able to boost the synthesis of 4 types of collagen, but in the same time, It should be non-irritating, and ideally, it should be anti-inflammatory. And here we have dozen of peptides. My favorites are Matrixil 3000, and in our Medder formulation, I am using peptides called icereal and special peptide called SynTC. It is a complex of peptide, which is really, it's one of the most powerful collagen boosters. And also another aspect of the eye area changes, which I didn't mention when I've been speaking about the key differences between the eye area skin and face skin, it is the reaction to the glycation, so-called sugar phase. Sugar phase starts in the eye area. Eye area reacts first. When you have these first sugar links sticking collagen fibers to each other, it will happen under the eyes. It will come to the face when the amount of sugar circulating in your body is slightly higher. If you eat too much of sugar, if your diet is not healthy enough, or when you come to a certain age, like 50 plus, 55, 60 plus. But eye area will react much earlier. That's why we say that eye area ages earlier. The difference of visual aging between the eye area and the face, it's 5, 7, and sometimes even until 10 years. If you want to prevent this early visual aging in the eye area, you should address the glycation process in the skin. And there are a few active ingredients which are able to prevent the glycation and which are able to dissolve these sugar toxic links between collagen fibers. Amongst them, the resveratrol, which we can use, some substances found in the green tea, but now special peptides been designed by the cosmetic chemist. So we are using, my favorite, it is icereal, which boosts the collagen synthesis, but also it de-stick collagen from each other, destroys this sugar-based biological glue, damaging the collagen structure in the dermis. And it is a peptide which is really able to reverse the glycation-based skin aging process in this area. And also another ingredients which are, when I see them in the formulation of the eye area skincare, I am very happy because I know that it will be innovative, modern, and smartly formulated. They are prebiotics and probiotics. And now we have very special prebiotics and probiotics promoting the growth of specific beneficial bacteria in this area and suppressing the growth of anti-inflammatory bacteria and drying bacteria. Because some bacteria can improve the water holding ability of the skin without adding too much of lipids. And these bacteria can be promoted by the smart use of prebiotics and probiotics. So, well-formulated, modern, innovative eye area skincare should be lightweight. And for me, I will always look for ingredients such as niacinamide and caffeine, especially in the formulation for under eye bags, eye puffiness, dark circles, and so on. I will look for peptides, I will look for prebiotics and probiotics, and I will say that sometimes you need 2 eye care products, not only 1. If you ask how early you should start using eye care, I will say as early as you think about it. Because when you start to think about it, that's probably you see first slight changes in this area. And I always recommend to start with a product addressing blood microcirculation issues, addressing pigmentation issues in the skin. So it would be a lightweight gel, lightweight serum, rich in caffeine, rich in niacinamide, rich in peptides and prebiotics and probiotics and so on. And these types of product I always recommend to use at night time because it helps your capillary to activate this process of the self-repair during the night. Because the night, it is the regeneration, repair kingdom. So this product will work better during the nighttime, but it should be very lightweight. If you're experiencing the skin dryness, if you notice the appearance of first wrinkles in this area, or if you have dark circles, wrinkles, skin dryness, you need another product which should be more protective. It can be an emulsion, lightweight, but still an emulsion, which can replace the deficient lipids in this area. It can be based on the natural oils like shea butter oil or jojoba oil. I love olive squalane for this area because it's skin identical, it's lightweight, but in the same time it's anti-inflammatory and very protective. And I will be happy to see in these formulations peptides and once again probiotics and prebiotics. But you cannot create two in one because one of the products should go into the dermis addressing capillaries, addressing pigment cells, and another product should stay on the stratum corneum in the epidermis, addressing fibroblasts with very selective ingredients which live better in the fat-soluble formulations like peptides. So please use both. Lightweight formulation for dark circles, under eye bags, and puffiness at nighttime, and protective formulation, which is a little bit more nourishing, silky, creamy in the morning. It will protect your eyes, and in the same time, it helps you protect the eyes from the ultraviolet damage. And another question, do you need the sunscreen for the eye area? I hear very often that you should apply the sunscreen all around the eyes. You should apply the sunscreen on the eyelids. But I'm not so much for it. First of all, I never seen the specific eye sunscreen. And as you can imagine, if the skin is so different and you need to use the specific eye care, that probably sunscreen characteristics should be specific as well, but it doesn't exist. And classic facial sunscreen is always too heavy for the eye area. And it can be highly uncomfortable because when you protect your skin from the sun, it means that they are probably sunny season. It can be hot. And the different pH of the sunscreen can be damaging not only for your skin, but also for your eyes health because pH is different, right? It's acidic. And acidic sunscreen, when it contacts eyes, it can be harmful. That's why all eye care, skin care, it's specifically tested by the ophthalmologist. Most of the sunscreens are not tested by the ophthalmologist, so we don't know how safe it is for this area. Long story short, I'm not using sunscreen for the eye area myself. I don't recommend to use sunscreen for the eye area to my patients or to customers, but I recommend to wear sunglasses, which protects the eye area very efficiently, and also to use the protective day eye care rich in antioxidants. Antioxidants, they are good for boosting collagen synthesis, they are good to prevent the glycation, but especially they are good to prevent ultraviolet related damage of the skin. So, yes, you need eye care. And if you are older than 35, probably you need 2 eye care products in your routine. And I think it is a good news because when you are using the quality skincare, specifically designed for this area, when it is modern, when it is efficient and safe, it helps you look so much better. And when you look better, you feel happier, right? I will be happy to answer all your questions. And I suppose after this episode, you can have a lot of questions about the eye care. So please write them in the comment, ask questions in our socials, and I'll be happy to answer all of them. Thank you for joining us today on the Meder Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@mederbeauty.com. And let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit medderbeauty.com and discover Medder skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.